How often do you go to the movies? How often do you go to the movies? I go to the movies once a week. I go to the movies once a week. How often do you eat in a restaurant? How often do you eat in a restaurant? I eat in a restaurant twice a month. I eat in a restaurant twice a month. How often do you get meals? How often do you get meals? I get meals 3 times a day. I get meals 3 times a day. How often do you talk on the telephone? How often do you talk on the telephone? I talk on the telephone 4 or 5 times a day. I talk on the telephone 4 or 5 times a day. I use my car a lot. It's a station wagon. I use my car a lot. It's a station wagon. I usually drive the children to school when it rains. I usually drive the children to school when it rains. I drive them to the music lessons in the afternoon. I drive them to the music lessons in the afternoon. Tom is learning to play the guitar. Tom is learning to play the guitar. Carol is learning to play the piano. Carol's learning to play the piano. Sometimes I drive them to parties. Sometimes I drive them to parties. I drive my husband to the station when his car is in the garage. I drive my husband to the station when his car is in the garage. He takes the train when his car is in the garage. He takes the train when his car is in the garage. I use the car for doing errands. I use the car for doing errands. I drive into the city about once a month. I drive into the city about once a month. Do you use your car very much? Do you use your car very much? I use my car a lot. I use my car a lot. What kind of car is it? What kind of car is it? It's a station wagon. It's a station wagon. When do you drive the children to school? When do you drive the children to school? I usually drive them to school when it rains. I usually drive them to school when it rains. Where do you drive them in the afternoon? Where do you drive them in the afternoon? I drive them to the music lessons in the afternoon. I drive them to the music lessons in the afternoon. What's Tom learning to play? What's Tom learning to play? He's learning to play the guitar. He's learning to play the guitar. What's Carol learning to play? What's Carol learning to play? She's learning to play the piano. She's learning to play the piano. Where else do you drive them? Where else do you drive them? Sometimes I drive them to parties. Sometimes I drive them to parties. When do you drive your husband to the station? When do you drive your husband to the station? When his car is in the garage. When his car is in the garage. When does he take the train? When does he take the train? When his car is in the garage. When his car is in the garage. What else do you use the car for? What else do you use the car for? I use it for doing errands. I use it for doing errands. How often do you drive into the city? How often do you drive into the city? I drive into the city about once a month. I drive into the city about once a month.